Okay, let's come into mountain pose. Feet together. I'm going to make sure your knees are over your ankles, your hips are over your knees. Slightly tuck your tailbone in. Make sure your shoulders are rolled back and down. So you want to feel the expansion across your chest. Slightly tuck that chin in. You want to feel that string being pulled to the top of your head. So standing up really tall. You can evenly distribute the weight forward and back, left and right. So usually when we stand, we'll have weight in one hip more than the other. So you want to make sure it's evenly distributed in your feet. Make sure you stand up really tall. This is mountain pose, hands even by your sides. This is a really grounding posture. We're activating that first chakra located at the base of our spine. So let's go ahead and start to take those yogic breaths. So inhale, push your belly out. Exhale, push your belly in. You can put one hand on your belly if you'd like. Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So when we breathe like this, we're activating the rest and digest nervous system. So we're coming out of fight or flight. And we're always in fight or flight. We're teaching our nervous system to be stressed, to be on edge. And so we want to inhale, push the belly out, exhale, push the belly in. That activates our rest and digest nervous system. That helps us calm down, come back into our bodies, coming back into this present moment right here, our yoga class tonight. Let's do a couple more of those. Inhale, exhale. Okay, let's do 10 forward folds. So we're going to inhale, reach up really tall, we'll stay on our toes. Exhale, come forward, bending at the hips. And then slowly come to the top. Your head's going to come up last. So just go ahead and do 10 of those on your own. You can stay on your heels or you can come up onto your toes. Inhale up, exhale down. Let's do one more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come down. And then slowly roll to the top. Your head's going to come up last. Come back to mountain pose, feet together, roll your shoulders back and down. Stand up really tall. Really feel the expansion across your chest. This is really important because we're always on our phones and on the computer, and so our shoulders get hunched over like that. We want to Roll our shoulders back and down. Okay, so from here, let's come into half moon pose on the right. So inhale, reach up really tall, come up onto your toes. Exhale, come down, and then come over to the right. So feel the stretch all down the left side. You want to breathe into the left side of the body. Over to the top, big circle with the arms. Let's do that on the other side. So inhale, reach up really tall, come up under your toes. Exhale, come down, come over to the left. So feel the stretch all down the right side. Take some deep breaths here. Come back to center, big circle with the arms. Okay, we're gonna cross the right foot over the left, and then we're gonna bend at the heels. We're gonna come forward. So this is going to stretch our IT band. It's on the outside of the thigh. And so take some deep breaths here, and just let your arms fall forward. Make sure you're still taking those yogic breaths. You want to inhale, push the belly out. Exhale, push the belly in. And then slowly come to the top. And then let's switch feet. And so switch sides, so bring your left foot over your right, and then bending at the hips, let's come forward. Take some deep breaths here. So this is really good for runners or people who hike and walk a lot. This is that IT band on this outside of your thigh that gets really tight. So just breathe into any tight spaces. And then slowly come to the top. Your head's gonna come up last, and then come back to mountain pose, feet together. Okay, let's come into chair pose. So feet hip width apart. Then we're gonna bring our arms up. Make sure your knees stay behind your toes and come down as low as you can. Take some deep breaths here, look forward. Really activate your breath here. You want to be able to hear your own breath. Inhale, push your belly out. Exhale, push your belly in. See if you can go any lower here. Continue to breathe. And then we'll release the hands. Let's come into ragdoll. Inhale, reach up really tall. Come down on your heels, come forward, bending at the hips, grab the elbows. Just let your head fall forward, let your neck fall forward. You can bend your knees if that feels good. You can gently rock over to the right and to the left. Just continue to really deepen your breath here. You can add that ujjayi breath, that's that windy breath. You can activate the ujjayi breath by just using that breath and kind of clenching the muscles in your throat a little bit, I guess is the best way to describe it, to get that windy sound. Make sure if you're going left and right that your head is following along over to the left. Stretch the neck over to the right. Stretch the neck on the other side. And then slowly roll to the top. Your head's going to come up last. And then when you come back to the top, come back to mountain pose. Feet together, ground yourself. Stand up really tall. This seems like the simplest posture, but this one's really important for our posture because we're always hunched over now on our phones. So it's really important to feel the expansion across your chest, really stand up really tall. See what it feels like to have the weight evenly distributed in your feet, feeling grounded in our bodies. Okay, let's come into triangle pose. So right foot forward, the left foot comes out, our heels are lined up here. And then we're gonna straighten that right leg and bring our arms to a T. And then we're gonna inhale, exhale, come over to the right and then come down. So your hand is on your thigh, your ankle, or the mat. Look up towards that left hand. Make sure that your arms are stacked on top of each other. Then look back down towards the mat. Just take some deep breaths here. Bring that left arm down, bend the right knee, and come forward. Shake that out if you need to. Let's do that on the other side. So left foot comes forward, right foot comes back, our heels are lined up this time, and our right foot is straight. It's not at an angle, it's straight. And then you're gonna straighten that left leg, bring your arms to a T, and then inhale. Come over to the left, exhale, and then come down. Hand is on the calf, the ankle, or the mat. Look up towards that right hand. Make sure your arms are stacked on top of each other. And then look back down at the mat. If anything feels tight, just send your breath to those tight spaces. Bring that right arm down, bring the left foot forward, shake that out if you need to. Okay, and then from here, let's come into another forward fold. Inhale, reach up really tall. Exhale, come forward, bending at the hips. So you just grab your calves, your ankles, or let your hands fall forward if that feels good. Just take some deep breaths here. We're getting our head under our heart in this posture. This gives us the ability to listen to our heart better because our heart is finally on top, our head isn't. So we're able to listen to our heart a little bit easier here. So see if your heart has any messages for you. Our bodies are electromagnetic beings. Our heart has an electrical pulse to it. And so we're able to change the frequencies in our bodies, our electrical magnetism, just by doing this. It just creates more coherence in our field. And that just makes everything in our life go better, flow better, work better, feel better. And you don't have to know any of that. You could just do the yoga, but that's one of the reasons why it feels so good. And then we're going to push our feet back into downward dog. So feet hip width apart, our hands are hip width apart. So we're actually lengthening our back in this posture. You may not feel like it, you just may feel it all in the back of your legs. We're also lengthening the spine. So just drive your heels down towards the mat as far as you can. Doesn't really matter how far you can do it. You just want to feel the stretch. Pedal your feet left and right if that feels good. You need to take really deep breaths here. Continue to push the weight back towards your heels, taking it out of your wrists. Again, pedal your feet left and right. And then from here, let's come onto all fours. Let's push back into downward dog or child's pose, knees together or hip width apart. Take some deep breaths here. And then let's come onto all fours. And then let's come into pigeon pose. So we'll start with the right leg across, bring the left leg down. You can come onto your forearms, or you can stay up here on your hands. You just want to feel the stretch on the outside of the hip here. This is also getting into that IT band. Take some deep breaths, just breathe into that hip joint. Gently bring that left leg in. And then stretch the right leg out. And then we're going to do that on the other side. So we're going to bring the left leg across and come down onto that right leg. You may notice that one side is tighter than the other. It's totally normal. Just breathe into those tight spaces. You want your palms flat on the mat. Make sure you're still taking those yogic breaths. Bring that right leg in, and stretch the left leg out. And then let's come into a seated position. And we're gonna come into cobbler pose. So bring our feet together. We're gonna sit up really tall, inhale. Exhale, come forward. You can press the elbows into the thighs if you need a little bit more extra stretch. Not just breathe into those inner thighs. And then come back to center, and let's come back onto all fours. And then from here, we're gonna bring the right leg out, and we're gonna bring the left leg out. And we're using the core to help us balance. And then we're gonna come in, touch the elbow to the right knee, and then come down. So we're gonna do that on the other side. So bring your left leg out, right arm out, point the toe, make sure you're breathing. And then you're gonna come in, elbow to knee, come down, let's switch sides. So we're using our core to help us balance here. We're gonna inhale, exhale, bring the elbow to knee, switch sides, let's do that on the other side. I'm gonna inhale, bring the elbow to the knee, exhale, switch sides. Inhale, bring the elbow to the knee, exhale. Let's do that on the other side. So zip your navel up towards your spine. That's going to help you balance using your core. Bring your elbow to your knee. Let's do it on the other side. Inhale, exhale, switch sides. 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 Inhale, exhale, switch. Inhale, exhale. Now let's push back into child's pose. Let's take some deep breaths here. And let's come up into a seated position. Actually, let's come on to all fours. So we're going to come into cow face pose. So we're going to bring the right foot, the right knee over the left knee, and then you're going to sit back onto your bottom. And then you can stay here, or you should add the arms. So right hand coming behind you, left hand also. So you're going to try to clasp your hands. You don't have to. You can just stretch that right arm. Take some deep breaths here. So you pretty much just want to make sure you're sitting up straight. and then release your hands, and then rock forward to get out of that. Bring the right leg over the left leg. And then we're gonna do that on the other side. So we're on all fours, bring the left knee over the right knee, and then you're gonna sit back. And bring your left arm up over your head. And just sit up tall. Everything will probably feel really tight because we never do this posture, but just breathe through it. Just take some deep breaths here. Just know that you're stretching a bunch of stuff that you never stretch, so that's good. So just breathe, sit up tall. This is also stretching your IT band. So that's connecting the knee up to the thigh. This gets tight in runners or people who hike a lot or walk a lot. So it's really important to stretch this. When it gets tight, it can get really painful. So if anything feels tight, just breathe through those tight areas. Release your hands, rock forward, and then release your feet. And then we're also going to do revolved half split. So this is also going to stretch that IT band. So let's see, we're going to come onto all fours, and we're going to bring the left foot out in front of us, and we are flexing our left foot. And then it looks like our right hand is over, our right hand is on the other side of our left foot, and we're stretching our left foot. And you can put your hand on the floor here, or you can put your hand up on your hip. Just take some deep breaths here. So breathe into that IT band, which is from your knee all the way up the thigh. Just if that area feels tight, just breathe into that area. You may feel like you can't straighten your leg completely. That's actually because the back of your thigh is too tight. So we'll stretch that next. So just breathe into that tightness. Okay, bring your hand back to the mat so you don't lose balance, and then let's actually sit back into half Hanuman. And so you can stay here, just flex that right foot, and we're stretching the back of the leg here. This is the half splits. We always want to sit up really tall, have a really straight spine. We're also stretching the spine here. Okay, so let's come forward and bring that right leg back, left leg, and we're going to reverse that. So our right foot comes forward, we're flexing the right leg, and then the left hand is coming over the side. Your right arm is either, your right hand is on the mat, or you can have it up on your hip. Take some deep breaths here. Then bring your right hand to the mat so you don't lose balance, and then sit back on that left knee. Sit up really tall and half Hanuman. This is the half splits. Sit up tall, flex that right foot. And then let's come forward, bring that right foot back. Let's come back into child's pose. So feet together, our knees are either together or hip width apart. And then come on to all fours. And let's come into threading the needle. So right arm comes through, left head, side of the head comes to the mat. So right arm is facing up. Breathe into that right shoulder. Take some really deep breaths. And then switch sides. Bring that left arm through. Take some deep breaths here. And then come back up onto all fours. And then let's come into a seated position. Let's stretch the back of the legs. So sit up really tall, flex your feet, inhale. And then exhale, come forward, bending at the hips. So feel the stretch all down the back of the legs. See with every exhale if you can get deeper into the posture. And slowly come to the top. Your head's gonna come up last. And then let's bring the right foot over the left knee. And then bring your hand behind us. We're gonna come into our twist. So bring your knee to your elbow to your knee, sit up really tall, inhale. Exhale, twist to the right. So look as far to the right as you can, activating the twist with your eyes. Then come back to center, release that. Bring your right foot down, and then bring the left foot over the right knee. And bring your left hand behind you, bring your elbow to your knee. Sit up really tall, inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. Look to the left as far as you can. We're deepening the twist with our eyes. And then come back to center, release the arm, release the legs. And then from here, let's come onto our backs and roll back and bring your knees into your chest. Rock left and right. Give your organs a good massage. And then bring your feet to the mat. Let's come into bridge pose. So your palms are on the mat. And then bring your heels as close to your butt as you can. Inhale, lift your hips up. Exhale. You can stay here, or you can clasp your hands together and come up onto your shoulders. Lift up a little bit higher. Take some deep breaths here. And remove your hands, come down one vertebra at a time. And bring your knees into your chest. Rock left and right. And then from here, let's roll over onto our bellies. And then let's come into Skink pose. So elbows under the shoulders, palms are on the mat. And then we'll inhale, lift up, we'll gently look up. Make sure your shoulders are backing down. So really just feel the expansion across your chest. Again, this is really important because we're constantly hunched over our phones and the computers. And so this really helps us open up that chest area. Also activates our heart chakra. Make sure you're still taking those deep yogic breaths, breathing into that heart area. And slowly come down. Let's push back into child's pose. Feet together, knees hip width apart. And then let's come back onto our backs. And we're going to bring our knees into our chest, and we're going to bring your feet back to the mat. Bring your left ankle over your right knee, and then grab behind your knee and bring your knee into your chest. This is stretching that IT band again. So breathe into that thigh, that left thigh. And then bring your right foot to the mat, and then let's switch sides. Bring your right leg over your left knee, and bring your left knee in towards your chest. Take some deep breaths here. Just send your breath to those tight spaces. And then bring your foot to the mat. Let's bring our knees into our chest one more time. Rock left and right. And then let's come into Shavasana. So palms face up, let your feet fall to each side. Take up as much space on your mat here as you'd like. And let your breath just fall back into its natural rhythm. Just let your brow smooth over. Let the muscles between your eyebrows relax. Eyes relax. Let the little muscles at the corners of the eyes smooth over. Imagine a slight smile at the corner of the eyes. Let your jaw relax. Let your tongue fall back into the root of your mouth. And then down to your neck and shoulders. Let your shoulders relax. Moving inside your shoulders. Just imagining the tension moving from ice to water, from water to gas, letting go. Just take a moment and focus on your hands here. See if we can feel the fingers from the inside out. Feeling the pulsing, tingling sensation of life that lives right here, right now. Focus on your heart. Just take note of what's there right now. And then without covering anything up, just add a smile. And let the belly relax. Add a smile across the navel. Let your pelvis relax. Add a smile from hip to hip. Feel the length and the volume of the legs as they take up space on the mat. And see if you can feel each part of your body as a whole right now. Gently start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Bring some life back into your limbs. Then bring your arm up over your head and roll over onto your side. And slowly come up into a seated position. Eyes closed, bring your hands to your heart. We'll end with spirit to spirit and healing streams of grace. So acknowledge your spirit. Focus in on the center of your chest and pick a color. And acknowledge your healing guides, your ancestors, your teachers, your guardian angels, and the higher power. And then we ask that healing streams of grace come in and go ahead, fill in the blank. So it's good to say it out loud too. And then we'll just imagine yellow streams of light coming over us. And thank you for coming to my class. Namaste.